How's it going, everyone? My name's Justin Lamar. Um, just started a YouTube channel not too long ago. I'm an independent filmmaker, and I honestly just want to talk to everyone that's in love with film and filmmaking. And if you're a filmmaker, I'd love to try to give some tips. But this video here is just, I kind of just want to focus on introducing myself and where I come from to what I'm doing now. Um, it's been a long journey. It's been a weird journey. It's a tough journey. And, I just want anybody out there that's pushing for whatever they want to do in life, not just filmmaking, but anything, that they're trying to accomplish and their dreams. I just, I'm not too good at this because I just started this channel, so I'm trying to get better at this. But yeah, like I said, I just want to introduce myself and just hopefully, even if I could help out one person, that would be awesome. But where it all begins with me is at a very young age. I was big into more adult movies as a kid, I would say. At a very young age, I was into like Cop and a Half, RoboCop, at the age of like around 7 or 8, I was huge into Titanic. And then the one movie that really got me pulled in was Lord of the Rings when that was released. I remember being in my living room at my childhood home a long time ago, sitting in the living room, and the trailer popped on our big box TV. And I was playing with my toys, and I just peered up, and I was just frozen, like in time with that trailer. And the dolly zoom of Frodo in the little wooded road, like the wooded area, the road at the beginning of Lord of the Rings Fellowship. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. That got me right there with that dolly zoom, and I was hooked. And then I begged my mom to take me to the theater to go see that movie. We went, and then pretty much after that was off to the races of just being creative, not even making films, or I didn't pick up a Super 8 camera or anything like that. I don't have no stories like that. My time would come later on when I kind of looked at it and was like, oh, like this is actually possible, like you can actually do this. So fast forward to after all those movies were released, and around 2007, 2008, I got a job at a theater, a local theater, and that just enhanced everything. You get free movies and snacks and drinks and all that stuff. It's awesome. It was like the best job I've ever had in my life. But you don't get paid nothing, so it's like you can't stay there too long when you got bills to pay and everything like that. And right around that time, I was about 16, and the next year, about 2007, 2008, I started talking to somebody at the theater, and we wound up having a kid in 2008. And I was very young and just trying to navigate that whole thing and focus on raising my little girl. And so everything took the back seat. It was she was number one and the main priority. I had to make money, had to bring in whatever I can to support her and her mom. And so that was my main focus for a few years. And then come around 2011, 2012, I kind of started like, well, it was actually around maybe 2010. I started taking some classes up in Chicago, acting classes, and just trying to get in that realm of just people that were interested in the same things that I was. And I sold a lot of my DVDs because I couldn't afford anything at that time, so I sold pretty much all my DVDs to make money, and it was like $300 a course. And that $300 back then was like, that was like impossible money. But I started selling a ton of stuff, and I wound up accumulating enough to be able to register and go to school up there. So I couldn't drive my old Blazer because it probably wouldn't make it. A lot of the trips, like there and back, would be a lot on that old car that I had. So I took the train. I think it was 2 or 3 times a week up there, and we're taking classes, and was taking classes. Um, but then it didn't really go anywhere, you know. And a few years later, I was talking to one of my best friends, and he was interested in, filmmaking and that whole world of everything. So we just sat down one day and was like, why don't we just buy a camera and just start making, short films of our own? And I was like, yeah, definitely, let's do that, so we're kind of in control of our own stuff. And me and him go back, I mean, since the first grade I met him, but we go back so long ago, and we are the same age, and we went to school with each other our entire school career, and we were always the two that did the opposite of everybody else, so everybody went right, we went left, everybody went left, we went right. It's just kind of how it was, so I felt like this was no different, and so we got a camera, and we didn't know anything about filmmaking at all. We just started filming dumb little videos in the car or outside, and it was fun. We had a blast. We were just hanging out with all our friends, and we had them in it, and we were writing these dumb little funny stories. And yeah, that was such a great time to do that, and we had a blast. But for some reason, we kind of got away from it after a couple of years of doing that, and everything was kind of stagnant. And I think everybody was just focused on what they were focusing on. At that time, I had 2 more kids, so I have 3 daughters total, and I just had a lot more stuff on my plate, a full-time job, and just a lot more stuff to kind of have to be responsible about and worry about. And it wasn't until 2001, yeah, 2000, I was 20, 21, somewhere around there. Yeah, 2021, I think. I was tired of just sitting around and just not doing anything with what I feel like I'm like destined to do. So I wrote a script, a short film that was about 25 pages long, and I just wound up finding people on Backstage and the internet, Facebook, like wherever I could reach out, I was reaching out to try to put a small little crew together to film this short film I had written and do it legit, like good camera, good sound, like all the good stuff. And but all I could afford is really about like $5,000. And so that's what I got. I sold some stocks at work, made the $5,000, and we were off to the races. I had 4 days scheduled to shoot this short film, but time ran out and we weren't able to get everything, and that was probably just inexperience on my part of trying to drive it forward. I was acting in it, directing it, I wrote it, produced it, everything, and just wearing the many hats. Wearing a lot of hats on set is a lot of work and a lot of stress. But I love it. I feel like I can balance it pretty well. Being my first time actually directing like actors and a crew and stuff, that was foreign to me. That was the first time, so I didn't really know exactly what to do with all of that, and I did my best. And I know I could have did a better job at like directing and everything, but we made it to 3 days, and we missed almost, I think it was like 5 pages or something. And I was like, oh man, after all this, we even had like a tornado go on during shooting and everything. It was just it was a struggle, and it was a lot of work, and I ran out of money. I couldn't finish those scenes that we still had to film. So all I did was pretty much pray that we could make something come of it. And I didn't even know if I had a film after those days of filming. And so I got it to my buddy John Furby, who edits my films, and gave him the footage and just told him, hey, let's see what we can do with putting this story together as best we can, and see what we got. So he did all that, and I was pleasantly surprised that we had a movie. After even missing all those pages was incredible, because I missed some key scenes in there, but he's a bad genius with the editing skills, and we wound up coming up with it was like a 20-minute short film, and 25-minute short film, and I was very happy with it for what had occurred. So that was my first like legit short film with a crew and actors and everything and directing. Um, so fast forward to 2023, and I wrote a feature film, and I brought it to Tim, same buddy I started with, and was like, "Hey man, do you want to go in on this feature film and split it? And we'll hire a crew, get actors, do the whole thing. I'll scout for locations, and if we come up with enough money on both ends, we'll meet in the middle, and maybe we can shoot for 10 days on this feature." And that's what we did. And we put our money together, and we dove in deep of just looking for anybody and everybody. I reached out to some old contacts from the short film, to actors, and Bryn, just got to give a shout out to Bryn Beveridge. She's amazing. She's been on pretty much every project that I've done, and so I made sure to contact her, and she was all in, and found another actress from California, some other actors from Chicago, and found the crew, and they were all based pretty much in Indiana and up north Chicago. But yeah, I assembled the crew, and everything was agreed upon, and we were good to go. And then about 2 weeks before filming, one of my actresses backed out. The one from California pulled out of the project, and I was mad scrambling on trying to find a replacement, and going through just portfolios on backstage, and finally coming across a woman named Madeline Conway, and she was a pleasure to work with. She was absolutely amazing, and just a warrior, a trooper, because some of the scenes we wound up shooting on this thing were incredibly hot for the whole crew and stuff, and I'll get to that in a few. But yeah, she jumped into the project and read the script and learned her lines very fast and was very professional on set, and she came prepared and was absolutely phenomenal. So after scouting, getting all the locations locked down, and I'll do a separate video on just like the scouting aspect and what I went through and what I did to gain the properties that we wound up filming at. That could be a whole nother separate video. But so we get into production, and same thing, we're hustling, moving. 10 days is not a lot for a feature film, but fast forward, get through all that, everything goes very, very smoothly, and it's the 9th day, and we're pretty much out of money. We don't have a lot to get. We don't have enough to pay for the 10th day, so we had to kind of cut it down, talk to the crew, and pretty much just told them, hey, we have to get it all done by the 9th day because we can't push another day. That's our budget's pretty much maxed. And so we pushed it. Crew came through just phenomenally, and we crushed it and finished the whole project. We got everything filmed, and so yeah, we made our feature film, Secrete, and we just released that last week. And I mean, feel free to definitely go check it out on my website. We're renting it. I'm trying to make our funds back to put into another project, but that's kind of what I want to focus on this YouTube channel, is just giving tips to first-time filmmakers or people that want to kind of get started in all of this. And I'm going to kind of walk through, just like I said, location scouting, crew scouting, what you do on days if stuff doesn't work out, and just everything. And big old truck walked up, sorry. But yeah, just trying to give tips on just new filmmakers, and just experienced filmmakers. Maybe you guys could pick up something from my experiences that you could apply to things. So that's all I wanted to say in this video. I will be making more, but I do appreciate everybody sticking around if you've made it this long. But yeah, be on the lookout for more tips and tricks for filmmaking. But all right, well, I appreciate it, guys, and I hope you guys have a good day or a good night or whenever you're watching this. But till next time, you guys take care.